promoted learning from one another and recognised that change for individuals and communities happens when people speak out and work together. That idea about change existed long before the Open University, but how was it transmitted? This banner, found in the village hall in Fringford, Oxfordshire, can be used to help us find out. This banner was made in the late 19th century for a branch of a friendly society, a voluntary mutual aid body. This one was called the Independent Order of Oddfellows, Manchester Unity. There was no NHS, so people, mostly men, who tended to be paid more than women, would each chip in a few pence every month to such a society. Funds paid for sick pay to the ill and for funerals. After funerals, members would parade from the grave with the banner and in their regalia to hand over money to the widow in her home. The banner, with its illustration of St. Michael, the healer and heaven's gatekeeper, provided a reminder linking Oddfellows to healthcare and to divine approval. The banner also came out on happy collective occasions. Fringford features in the semi-fictional autobiography of late Victorian life, Lark Rise to Candleford. The author, Flora Thompson, mentions the annual feast, the dancing and the parades, when members would wear their club colours in the shape of rosettes and wide sashes. This banner, especially if it appeared in recently invented newspaper photographs, could tell the story above the noise of a parade, could energise members and aid recruitment. This commercially produced banner, with poles, carrying harness and box, cost about £55, more than the average annual wage of many industrial workers. It told poor rural labourers that the Oddfellows meant financial security. This was a society whose members had a stake in society, and they demanded a say in how their country was run. To the wealthier, this banner was a demonstration that Oddfellows were worthy of the vote. The image on the banner's other side is of a clean, respectable man failing to break the bundle of sticks. This indicates that individually members had little strength, but together these working men could not be broken. Females, if they appeared at all on banners, tended to be either victims or, as here, virtues. The implication was that even after members left their families for an evening meeting in the pub, they were still supporting those families. Oddfellows who travelled in search of work could arrive at a lodge and expect a bed for the night, an introduction to an employer, or if there was no work, a penny to go on their way. The society enabled men to determine the labour supply. To bind members together and to help ensure that claimants were genuine members, the Oddfellows had many rituals and passwords. Officers were elected, which offered opportunities for working men to learn how to run organisations. Because, like a military standard, the banner could only be carried if there was a cooperative effort. It asserts men's power and status, their collective independence from women and employers. The Oddfellows also had close links to Chartism. This movement of the late 1830s and 1840s campaigned for the vote for working people. There were mass rallies and huge petitions were delivered to Parliament. The campaign grew to include a range of demands. Chartists used Oddfellows halls for meetings and built on Oddfellows' internal structures and systems for secrecy. Oddfellows' ceremonial swords were used in a Chartist uprising. Even after the numbers at Chartist rallies fell and the campaign died away, the culture and the ideas remained in circulation. The banner said the Oddfellows demanded security for their families and a place in society. They offered ritual, status and comradeship through collective self-help. By the early 20th century, fashions had changed. The Morning Leader newspaper was comparing such banners to the lighter and more imaginative ones carried by women campaigning for the vote. It wrote, "When men march, they carry huge banners with ugly paintings on their glazed surface. The colours are violently crude. The portraits are hideous. A banner is a lovely thing, but the banners borne by men are grotesque." Today, Open University students speak out, tell their stories in many ways. But by listening to the tales told by banners, we can gain insights into how we all got to where we now are.